Is your property manager getting you the best rent for your investment property? I'm here with Joanne Danckwardt of One Agency JD Property Agents in Fairy Meadow. And Joanne, what is the answer to that question?
Look, you need to know that they're reviewing the rents, and they should be contacting you every 12 months and going over what other properties have recently leased for, what similarities they have to your property. It's actually a market analysis that we do, every 12 months.
Yeah.
And so we look at that and we say, okay, these properties are getting this, your property has that, this is where your rent is, this is where their rent is, and then the next layer above that is then saying, okay, then the rent might need to go up $50 or however much, and then saying, well, how do you feel about us negotiating that with the tenant?
Mm-hmm.
Are you comfortable with us going for that? Now the skill is, and this is like, you have to have the right skills, and I can't stress this enough, you really need to be a good negotiator.
Yeah.
And you need to hear how, even when I'm talking to the tenants about rent increases, the way I go about it is probably different to a lot of people. So I set the scene.
Yes.
I set the scene by asking them, do they want to stay? That's the first thing. You don't want to even have the conversation about $50 increase if they're not wanting to stay. So in that conversation, I also say to them, look, I don't know whether you've noticed that rents have been increasing lately, and it probably will go up, but I don't know yet what it will go to because we haven't done enough research, because I needed to find out whether you want to stay. First very, very important point. And then we go into checking once they want to stay. But it's setting them up for the next phone call with me having said, okay, I've had a review, I've looked at it, and this is where the rent should be. I will know from those two conversations whether I'm likely to get it or I'm not.
Yes.
Are they going to be looking around? I do that research too. And it's super important that your property managers are doing this as well, because if you are trying to increase it $50 and then you go online, because this is what they'll do, they'll go online and they will check to see whether there's other properties that they can get for less than that.
Yeah.
It's just a natural thing. I don't expect them not to do it, but I've already done it, so I already know what they're going to find, and then I'll be able to negotiate based on what I know they're going to be looking at and what I know and what I'm telling you and what you want as a owner of the property. So there's lots of layers, and the one thing that's super important is knowing that the rents are being reviewed annually and that your property manager is coming to you with their strategy and that they're able to negotiate properly.
Perfect.
So you've got to negotiate with you too.
That's right, yeah.
Because your mortgage is going up, and you're probably thinking, I want the rent to go up as much as what my mortgage is going up. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did and make our lives easier and we wouldn't have to negotiate. But it's not like that. It's what else is on the market and what has recently rented, and where do we need to sit in the market to make sure that we keep that tenant if they're a good tenant and we get the appropriate rent. The last thing you want to do is have a tenant in there long term and it not be reviewed, because you could be losing hundreds of dollars a week.
Yeah.
And I've seen that before, where I've inherited properties from other agencies, and the owners have known, because everybody knows innately what they should be getting. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, this is not right. I should be getting more money from this property. And you need the money. You need the money as an owner so that you can do the repairs and the maintenance to keep the property to the value that it needs to be. Because when it gets passed over from the tenant back to you, if you want to sell, it's got to be in good repair.
Exactly. No, very good. Look, if you've got any questions around this topic, please get in contact with Joanne here at One Agency JD Property Agents. But thank you so much for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next video.